Welcome back to another episode of the Seattle Sports Show where we love Seattle pro sports. I'm your host, Mikey, and today we got another mini episode for you, doing another 7 round Seattle Seahawk mock draft. Um, Quickly before we get into it, we will mention John Schneider was at the combine this week, and he said some things that we should know about. Talking about the team and the draft. So before we get into this mock draft, John Schneider with the press at the combine, he mentioned that the staff, they're not there, but they just completed the coaching staff, so they're getting ready to meet with players because they got to figure out what they have, what they like, what they don't like. And he was even asked about what's playing time going to be like for certain players. You specifically asked about Kenneth Walker III and Zach Charbonnet, and Schneider said, "Hey, that's going to be up to the coaching staff. They're going to have to learn this, the players, and figure out what they like and how they want to use them, and then that'll just be up to them." He mentioned that he hopes to have QB competition this year, but he also mentioned that he hopes to have or that he would love to have Drew Lock back. So if that's the QB competition that we're talking about, I'm not too excited for that. So hopefully that's not the case. I would rather have a cheaper rookie quarterback that is learning and has more, potential development in them. So we'll see how that plays out. Talking just about drafting players in general, Schneider said he doesn't see the type of player they go after this year being any different from any of the previous years with Pete because the philosophy is very similar, and that the type of players they want is similar. So they're looking to go after those same type of players. And with that being said, we can get into our mock draft. Before we do, though, I do want to kind of just talk about how. So with this, it is very, very, very early in the process. So, basically, yeah, the mock draft simulator. Because I did get a comment about this. The mock draft simulator does it can be wild. It could do things that you just don't think are realistic at all, and that's okay at this point. We're just having fun. It's so early in the process. We have no idea really what they're doing. Especially we have a new coaching staff, so we really don't know what they're going after. So it's kind of fun to see all the different possibilities, and then kind of see and mention a lot of different players, and that gives you a chance to go look these players up if you haven't heard of them, or just gives you a reminder about those players, and then you get to go look up their tape and look up their stats and kind of see what you like about them. And then the draft in real life, it can be wild, it can be ridiculous. There's players that drop every year that you can't believe how far they dropped, and there's players that get drafted way higher than they were expected. That people go, "Whoa, how did that player get drafted that high?" So you never know what kind of wild things can happen. And at this point, being so early in the process, it's just kind of fun to fantasize about those type of things, and kind of see if something wild does happen, how that would affect the entire draft and affect your plan going forward with the rest of the draft. So it's kind of fun. Once we get closer to the real draft, then we will probably do a handful of these where we're more looking to be realistic with, like, okay, who's actually going to be there when we pick who's the players the Seahawks are actually going after, and not just who we want. But there'll be a lot more reports as we get closer of, like, okay, who do they actually want, because we'll also know what free agents did they sign up to that point. We'll know if there's been any trades made up to that point. We'll just have so much more information that we could be a little bit, try to be more realistic and accurate with those final drafts. But right now, let's have fun with it. Let's see all the possibilities and kind of fantasize about them, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start this draft. Begin at 16. Again, letting this fall to me and see what kind of wild thing could happen here at 16. And I can tell you, there's a couple of wild things looking at me right in the face right here. Now, if we got to 16, okay, I'm going to reject all these trades. If we got all the way to 16, and at this point, JJ McCarthy, to me, he is moving up the boards. If JJ McCarthy is still available at 16, if JC Latham is still available at 16, Jared Verse still available at pick number 16, Jackson Powers Johnson still available at 16. To me, Troy Fontenot, on their board here, they have him at 33, but I think he was already higher than that. And after the combine, I think he proved that he is higher than that. So if he's still available at 16, those are all players that I would love to have at 16. Because we just mentioned it earlier that John Schneider would like to have QB competition, and I don't want that to be Drew Lock. And I don't think we've actually had this available to us at this point in these mock drafts. And this is a player that ever since the college season ended, I've been watching tape on him. He's just been moving up and up and up and up for me. And then again, watching him this weekend and listening to his interviews this weekend, JJ McCarthy is he's the real deal, man. I'm taking him. We're taking him here. So again, if that happens and that's they said that's the QB competition that they want to have, then there's no trading back at that point, right? So we've done a lot of trading back in these mocks, but now we got to see, okay, we're taking the QB number 1. How do we adjust the rest of our plan once that happens? So let's see here. We're pick 76 now. No second round pick, remember. So what do we want to do? Do we want to accept a trade and get move our we can swap our 233 with Houston for their 124, or Green Bay for their 127. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to swap here. R76 for Houston's 86 and R233 for their 124. Yeah, so now we're picking our number 78 pick. Our next pick after that is going to be at 86. So we really, oh man, see, it makes it tough. It makes it tough because you know there's certain players you want to get. So I'm going to take. We saw them take an interview, a formal interview with these players. They're only allowed 45. We saw them take an interview with Trevin Wallace, linebacker out of Kentucky. Man, this guy is a beast. He is a bullet. He flies around the field, and he looks like he would be fun to have in Mike Wallace or Mike McDonald's system. So we are taking Trevin Wallace here. Okay, now we are at pick 86. Still getting another trade come in. And then again, because to me, the fit just seems too good. Oh, never mind. I thought he was there. I thought I saw his name there, but he's not. So again, change of plan again. Okay, so looking at the board and what is actually there, not what I thought I saw there. I'm going to take Chris Jenkins is still there for some reason at pick 86. Again, some things that seem wild, but you never know. Again, just fits the system too well, makes too much sense. We're doing it. All right, our next pick is coming up here at 119. Again, wild things happening in this in this mock, but that's okay. We're having fun with it, okay? There's something I would not expect to see happen here either, but pick 119. Cole Bishop is still available. We're taking it because our next pick's at 124, so we're still going to get a chance to take an offensive lineman, which we're going to need interior offensive lineman. So, again, luckily, we do have that choice there. Brandon Coleman is still available here out of TCU. I am taking Brandon Coleman here. And our next pick, 151. Okay, so somebody who did well during this yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. Bo Limmer, okay? Offense center out of Arkansas. Did well during the combine, so let's take it there. Our next pick is until 194, but again, looking at what we had so far, we did take JJ McCarthy at the top. We still sticking with Gino if he's still on the team. Either way, we need to build that interior line. So let's take Limmer here. Okay, and then our next pick isn't coming until 194. We did get a linebacker. We got a defensive tackle. We got interior lineman. We got a guard. We got a center. Again, Limmer and Timmy can battle it out for center, and somebody can move to guard. However that plays out. 194 here. Okay, let's get a weapon that or a target. I don't want to say like a weapon. A target that JJ McCarthy is already familiar with. Let's get AJ Barner, good blocker, and a target for McCarthy. And there you go. That is how this one played out. Let me know, what do you think of this one? Taking JJ McCarthy at the top of the draft. This is going to be a very polarizing one, I bet. But yeah, getting JJ McCarthy, top of the draft, pick number 16. If he fell to you there, he's somebody I would have said going into this college season, he's going to be, the late first round pick. But watching him throughout the season and then watching his tape, his testing, yeah, I won't be surprised if he's not available to us at 16. I wouldn't be surprised if he's, drafted possibly in the top 10. But then, would love to see that QB competition between Gino and JJ McCarthy year one, and then also just getting to have McCarthy, develop in the system and learn behind Gino. If he didn't beat Gino, wow, it's still, either way, it wouldn't be a bad thing having the QB, the future QB on your roster. Then again, just going down the rest here, Trevin Wallace looks like he'd be great in the Mike McDonald system. You got to go look up his tape and look how fast that man moves. Chris Jenkins, again, just perfect fit there. Cole Bishop, another safety that I think would do really well in the Mike McDonald system. Then we had to build our line. Either way, you got the QB that's still here, and then the QB of the future. You got to build a line for him. So we went and got Brandon Coleman, and then we got Limmer, and then just get a target and another blocker to help with that line, I guess. And again, just be a reliable target for a familiar QB with JJ McCarthy. We went and got AJ Barner. So let me know, how would you feel if this is how the Seahawks draft played out, and what would you give as a grade to this draft? A, B, C, D, F. Again, just the first pick alone, I think it's going to be very polarizing for a lot of you fans out there. So, some of you, you might like JJ McCarthy, and so you might say, hey, this is A, or some of you just do not like McCarthy at all, and you're going to give it an F just based off of that. So I'd be really curious to see the grades on this one. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. There it is. Thanks for listening to another Seattle Sports Show, where we watch legends awaken. So take cover, because with the sea of sound, you will see us rise to reign supreme and win forever.